Hi, I'm Sonja, and welcome to Morning Tea and Manifesting. In this episode, video, whatever it is, I want to talk about probably a couple of comments that I got, but one in particular that I honestly don't know how to respond to. And this is part of my struggle as I get back on YouTube and am making videos. I don't know how to handle these comments. So I'm just going to be brutally honest and speak my truth on this because if I don't, I'm going to repeat the same cycle that I did the last time I was on YouTube, and this will be a short lived experience. And if I keep repeating the same cycle over and over again, eventually I'm going to delete my YouTube channel, and I really don't want to do that. I really enjoy talking about manifestation. I really enjoy interacting with people to a certain extent when it comes to manifestation. The thing that I learned about myself when I started this and went down the coaching path, thinking that's what I wanted to do, I realized that that is not what I want to do. I don't want to coach. I do not want to work one on one with people. I have a really hard time dealing with my own shit when I'm being bombarded with everybody else's. And that's not a diss or anything on anybody I was working with. I enjoyed working with people. It just I I am not built for that, and I can't take that on, at least not right now. And I honestly, I've said it before, I don't see myself going back to one on one coaching. And if I did somehow end up coaching, it would be in a way where you do not get to bring your circumstances up to me. Like, I would fire you as a client if you bring up any circumstances. If you're going to bring up circumstances, I don't feel like you understand the base of what manifestation is. And I have plenty of resources on here for you to learn that without needing direct access to me. That's part of why I did it that way. I want you guys to have the information, but I need to do this in a way that is sustainable for me. And right now, having a course and running a course is just, I can't handle that right now. That's why I just put it on YouTube so that you guys can have that information and you will do with it what you will. The two things I think that are I guess there's three. I have three things on my channel that I've done over the past 2 years. The first one, and you got to remember, the first one I did early, very early in my YouTube journey. It was like 2 months into being on YouTube. I did what I called Create Your Manifestation Lifestyle, where I basically teach you what I did at the time to start building the belief in manifestation, where we pick something we don't care about and manifest that, and then apply what we learn from that to something that you do care about. That was a big way of how I figured things out. After that, I did Manifesting 101, which these are all playlists on my YouTube channel if you go look for them. Manifesting 101, which is talking about all of the terms used in the law of assumption, specifically community, which is the base for the book that I wrote. The book is not much different than Learn to Manifest. It's just structured a little bit differently because the videos were the base of it. I started kind of writing what I thought would be blog posts of everything I could think of to talk about manifesting. I was on TikTok in December. No, it was Thanksgiving. So November of the first year I was on YouTube, so 2 years ago. And I needed content for TikTok and remembered that I had wrote out those like blog post things and turned it into Manifesting 101, which I originally posted on TikTok, and then I did it here on YouTube. And that is literally the base of the book. I took that stuff and then turned it into a book. And then my newest thing that I'm doing now, as I'm filming this video, is posting weekly, is Learn to Manifest. And that is, if I could go back and teach myself how to manifest, this is how I would do it. When I get comments and all it is circumstances, I can tell that you don't understand the words that you're saying. And this comment has a lot of that in there of I'm using words that are used in this community, but I don't think you understand what they mean. Truly understand what they mean. And if you do not truly understand what they mean, that means you're not applying this correctly in your life. And if you're not applying it correctly in your life, of course it's not working. You don't understand what you are doing. Other than send you to those videos, I really don't have any advice for you. I am not a therapist and I don't want to play one on TV. I don't want to help you sort through your problems. I just don't. I tell you everything you need to know. Giving you all of my tools and all of the videos, and I have some, like I said, in structured form for you guys to follow. That is all I can do for you. I am thinking about doing maybe a Patreon or a membership type thing and doing some more videos. I don't know what that will look like, and I'm not in any rush to take that on right now. But I am not going to sit here and break down your guys' circumstances anymore. That is what all of my old videos are, and there's like 1,000 videos on this channel. There's plenty of me breaking down every situation that you could ever come across. Because it's all the same. It's all the same. But I do love the community that I'm building here. There is one reply comment on this first comment, and it just says, whatever you tell yourself is true is true. I don't even feel like I need to respond to this person because that's the answer. That is the answer. I don't want to coach you guys and have you become reliant on me to help you catch your own shit. Where your power is learning to catch your own shit, meaning presence, awareness, choice. Until you can bring yourself back to the present moment and assess what the fuck the problem is for yourself, you're still relying on the outside world to get you what you want. Which means you are not as powerful as you could be. Even if I worked with you, you still have to get good at that presence awareness choice. It's all about becoming aware of what you are telling yourself and making a choice about it. And other than give you the tools that have worked for me, I can't help you. I don't want to help you. I'm just going to be blunt and honest. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. There are plenty of coaches on here who do want to do that. Go work with them. I tried, before I took my almost year off of YouTube, to bring things toward it was with my lives, going live, and instead of answering questions, I was going to say asking questions, answering questions, I was asking people to tell me about how amazing it is to have what they want. And first of all, my views went way down. People didn't want to watch that. And there were only about 2 or 3 people who got what I was saying. I sat and stared at the camera quite a bit in those videos and decided not to do them because it was just me staring at the camera, wasting my time. I could do anything and it would be a better use of my time than just staring at the camera. And I know that that is something that I want to do more of in some way, which I think might be what I put into a membership of helping you guys imagine having what you want more. A lot of you are lacking that ability to do that. And this comment is the, the perfect example of that. The absolute perfect example. I've gone back and forth on reading this comment for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to go through it. And two, there's basically no punctuation. And my brain, I started reading this and it literally just turned into the Peanuts. Wah, 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 wah. I can't process when you guys don't speak in complete sentences. And I also feel that this comment in particular was written in a spiral. And I am not qualified to help you if you're in a spiral. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to pull you out of your spiral. I don't have much more to say on that one. I have helplines, at least for in the US, in the description below, but I'm not going to help you with that. I can't help you with that. I have given you all of the tools that I have that work for me, which is all that I can speak from and share from. And you need to find what works for you. And if you can't find what works for you and things are really bad, then you need to go ask for help from somebody who can give that to you. And I am not that person. I really don't want to read this comment, but it's about SP, and my brain wants to say more, so I'm just going to read it. Whatever. Hi, Sonja. I've been binge watching your videos for a few days now. It resonates with me. I have a question. I recently manifested my fears, which I resisted and more worried about, so it was huge chaos. It involved many people. They told me to leave my SP, but my mind was so adamant that I'm not able to give even when I wanted to. I just couldn't. It's like I'm married to him with more conviction now, automatically. Now I'm manifesting for 2 years by steps, but my desire is marry him. Everything is opposite outside, but I seem to be affirming through tears. I don't know what's going on or in which I'm in. Can you provide your insight on this, please? My insight is you have no idea what manifestation is or how to do it. You're doing it incorrectly, and that's your problem. I have the tools and the resources to help you the best that I can. Either those work for you or they don't. And you need to understand what this other person responded back to you. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. You are addicted to your 3D. You're making all of your thought process decisions based on the 3D. This is where I feel like that until you experience it for yourself, you don't understand. I feel like you're probably obsessed with just this topic, just affirming to be married to your SP, and you are not paying attention to any other thought in your head. And that's a problem. It's not going to work if you don't change you. You cannot just change one thought process and think the rest is just going to follow. You have to actually be that person. So that means the rest of that shit has to go. If you're happily married to your SP, then other people aren't telling you to leave them. You have a lot to look at in your mindset, and I am not going to be the one who's going to help you figure that out. I have given you all the tools. Like I said, use them or don't, or go find a coach who will coach you. And that is how I feel about comments like these. And I will probably just send this first part to people who leave comments like this. I can't help you any more than that. Like I said, everything I have is on YouTube. And some of you don't seem to believe me when I say that. I have gotten emails. This is part of why I took off my email address. I would get emails from people. If I could, I don't have money to work with you, but if I could just only work with you, then I know that my life would change. No, you need to apply what I'm teaching here on YouTube for nothing and stop assuming that there's something that you still need to do in order to get the answers that you're looking for. I do not like the idea of you guys putting that much faith and belief in me. If only I could work with Sonja one on one, then my life will change. What are you assuming is true? You are putting a roadblock to your success because you won't just come back to telling yourself that what you want is true. There must be something wrong. There's something blocking me. I don't understand why this is happening. Presence, awareness, choice. Bring yourself back to the present moment. What are you telling yourself? Do you want that to be what's true? Yes or no? If not, change it by coming back to something different. That's all I have for you. That's it. And that is something that you have to apply for yourself and learn how to get good at for yourself. And the tools that I talked about earlier in this video are the things that I wish I would have had that would have helped me get there. That is especially specifically learn to manifest. I don't have anything else to say. I really don't. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. And until you understand that that's what manifestation is, the more you want to go around and trauma dump and bitch, whine, moan, and complain about your circumstances, you're right about all of it. Until you realize that you're choosing that, there's nothing I can do to help you. All right, I think that's all I have to say on that comment. Yeah. Yeah. And I do feel like a massive bitch for saying that kind of stuff, but I it's either honor my truth and myself or not do YouTube. Those are my options. And I really want to make videos. So that's what we're doing here. Jax approves. He's over here snoring. All right, so I got another comment that I was like, man, that's such a good example of wording affirmations and finding the affirmation that is going to be right for you. This came on my a video I did in response to the video I did where I was talking about the affirmation I am perfect. Someone had left a comment about how they started affirming my life is perfect and negative things started happening. And I got this comment on that second video. And it, like I said, it just, for me, I am perfect was the right affirmation. That doesn't mean it's the right affirmation for you. My opinion on this is if your life is far from perfect or even ideal, it is easier to say each day in every way my life is getting better and better. I agree with that. Just a suggestion for someone who may be going through some difficult times. I agree. If that's the affirmation that works for you and every day in every way my life is getting better and better, the affirmation I first heard from Jose Silva, but say that. For me, when I'm going through a hard time, I don't tell myself I'm perfect. I My affirmation that works for me is, isn't it wonderful, everything's perfect. Because there were too many holes in every day and every way. My life is getting better and better and better. My brain fought me too much on it. But through trial and error, I found, isn't it wonderful, everything's perfect, for whatever reason, is the one that my brain goes, oh, well, if everything's wonderful and everything's perfect, then I don't have to worry about that, and I don't have to think about that, and that must be taken care of because everything's wonderful and perfect. And that has been the most important thing when it comes to wording affirmations, which is another thing that I don't enjoy doing for people. Oh, Sonja, I need an affirmation for this, or an affirmation for that, or an affirmation for, I can't tell you what you should be thinking, and I don't want to tell you what to think. That's part of the problem that you have right now, is you don't want to have an original thought for yourself. If you say to yourself, each day in every way my life is getting better and better, or you tell yourself, isn't it wonderful, everything's perfect, or my life is perfect, or I love my life, or I'm perfect, or I love pokey dog nails, as long as it means to you that you're going to get what you want and you don't always have to be miserable, it doesn't matter how you say it. All I can do is say what I use and what works for me. And for some reason, when I started using I am perfect, that was the affirmation I needed to be using, which I spoke on a few videos ago. Eh, when it comes to choosing your thoughts, it's all on you and finding what's right for you. Like I was saying, I can share my experience, but that does not mean that it's going to work for you or be your experience. But if you hear my experience, maybe it will help you to understand yourself better and figure out what will work for you. I I can't help you do that. That is your trial and error to find what's going to work for you. I can only go tell you what I've done and how I wish I would have done things differently if I could go back and redo it. And wording affirmations is literally just figuring out a sentence that implies to you that things are the way you want them to be. Start paying attention to how you're wording what you don't want, presence awareness choice, and then thinking of it not that way. And that was why, when I was thinking about if I could go back and teach myself how to manifest, that was how I structured it. That's how I structured building on understanding, becoming aware of what you're thinking, and then having a way to have some set choices to set a new foundation of who I am if everything in my life is the way I want it to be. And I structured that from what I noticed with people when I was coaching. I structured it from all the years of watching other people's content, and the things that seem to be the most common, were things that I was experiencing too. So I just built out this new belief system that I excuse me, keep coming back to. And got something in my throat. Tickle. Anyway, I had a lot going on yesterday. Yesterday was quite the day. And in all of the chaos, I was shocked at how different my mindset was compared to 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. And how the stuff that's happening right now, I know is getting me moving forward. I know it's the bridge of incidents, even though it was a stressful, chaotic day, it was flabbergasting to me how much I operated from presence awareness choice on autopilot because I've been doing it for so long now. That is how I function in the world. And it takes something, a little out of nowhere. And it wasn't out of nowhere, but it was still unexpected of kind of that earth shaking moment of things are happening. It's a whole thing. I'm not going to talk about it on here, but I just really realized that having that base, which is what I teach you in Learn to Manifest, is the only reason that I am able to navigate what I'm going through right now. If it weren't for that, I don't know what I don't know what would be happening. I want to speak from my personal experience. I want to give you the information I can give you. And in my personal opinion, when you get really caught up in areas of your life and micromanaging that they need to get better, and this is how I'm going to prove to myself that manifesting is real, and I just have to tell myself for 3 days that my SP and I are married and everything's going to be different. You do not understand what this is or how it works. I know you want things to change and you want them to change right now, and they will change, but that is all predicated on you changing. And without that, really, the system of presence awareness choice, and then having what you want to be true, having that quote unquote new story, that new belief system, that new thought process about who you are and who people are and how things are, you you don't grasp it. And that's why the other reason I did Learn to Manifest the way that I did, so that if you stay committed to it, and people are giving me these comments, I see what you mean. They're not saying exactly this, but they're basically saying, I see what you mean when you stay committed. I see the change. I notice the change. It's, still rocky, but I see it. It's in having the experience that you start to understand it. And if you are just obsessed with my SP debacles, you're not going to see it. And that's coming from my own personal experience. Your mindset will change, things will change. But you have to understand what you're changing and why you're changing it and how you're changing it. And that comes from experience of actually experiencing things changing and happening. And like I said, all I can do is speak from my experience and how I wish I would have done things. And that is what Learn to Manifest is. All of my tools are on here. I don't have anything else to tell people. I just don't. So yeah, that's what's on my mind today as I drink my tea and talk about manifesting. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Love and light.